sir.
And my voice is coming clearly, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. So today we are about to finish this particular concept called correlation, because we have done the Carl Pearson correlation coefficient, we have done Spearman rank correlation, and while doing rank correlation, I think we have done the very simple question first, that is when the ranks are given, and then we have done the question where the ranks were not given, we had to rank the data, but none of the observations were same, like there is no repetition of the rank. And the third category which we have done, just a second, yeah, so third category which we have done is when the ranks are equal, when the numbers are there in the in either the both of the data series, or maybe in X or Y, which are uh, coming more than once, right? So we have done all these three categories of questions under the Spearman rank correlation. So the first thing is that, is anyone having any doubt, any problem with anyone related to it? Related to correlation, related to Carl Pearson correlation coefficient, related to Spearman rank correlation. Is there any doubt with anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Now we what we need to do is, just a second, we have to understand that what will be the interpretation of calculating all these values, because we have calculated correlation in UG level also, we have calculated correlation, we are calculating correlation over here also, but by calculating a correlation, let's suppose R is equal to 1. So what is the significance of R is equal to 1? Can anyone tell me? R is equal to positive 1. What do you mean by R is equal to positive 1? What is the significance?
Sir, positive correlation.
R is equal to positive 1 means what? If the value of correlation coefficient is positive 1, what does that mean? What is the interpretation of this? I have told you in the first class, very first class of correlation. R is equal to 1, R is equal to 0, R is equal to negative 1. What is the significance?
Sir, perfectly positive correlation.
Yes. And what do we mean by perfectly positive correlation?
So when one will increase, the other one will also increase, like directly proportional.
And if one decreases, then
So then also the other one will decrease. It will be in the same direction.
okay, other one will also decrease. And what is the significance of R is equal to negative 1?
So opposite direction.
Opposite direction. Means if one is increasing, second one is
Other one
decreasing.
will decrease. Yes, sir.
Is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
R is equal to positive 1, R is equal to negative 1. Yes, Neelam, because you were, I think you were not there in the first class. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, I've noted down it.
Okay. If you are noting it down, please note down one more thing, is that that is the value of correlation coefficient will always be negative 1 to positive 1. Means it cannot be less than negative 1, it cannot be greater than positive 1. It can be negative 1, it can be positive 1, it can be 0, or it can be any value between negative 1 and positive 1. But it cannot be like 1.5, it cannot be like negative 2.5, right? So this is the kind of a range for the correlation coefficient. So can we move further?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So yes, I was talking about the interpretation. So if r is equal to 1, r is equal to -1, r is equal to 0, we have a clear cut understanding that r is equal to +1 means perfectly positive correlation. R is equal to -1 means perfectly negative correlation, and r is equal to 0, no correlation at all. But what if r is equal to 0.65? What if r is equal to 0.25? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do in that case? This is what we need to understand. That what we'll do in that case. So that is what we are going to understand. Let me change the screen. Let us discuss it on just a minute. Okay, I hope the screen is again visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what we are talking about? We are talking about interpretation of correlation coefficient, which is R. And we have said that if R is equal to 1, R is equal to rather +1, we know what to write. R is equal to -1, we know what to write. And R is equal to 0, we know what to write in terms of interpretation. But what if R is equal to 0.65? What will be writing? Right? If R is equal to 0.85, in a very normal kind of a situation, we can say, sir, if r is equal to 0.85, so it is nearer to +1, so we can say yes, r is equal to 0.85 is showing that there is a positive correlation because the value for r is positive, so there is a positive correlation. One thing is sure. And sir, r is equal to 0.85 means we can say that it is like it is nearer to 1, so we can say that, sir, there is a good correlation, or there is a positive direction correlation. But what exactly does that mean? So for that interpretation purpose, we actually use a particular tool which is called as probable error. Probable error of correlation coefficient. So probable error of correlation coefficient is equal to, the formula is in front of you. Can any one of you please read it? What is the formula? It is on your screen.
So 0.6745 in bracket 1 minus r square upon root over n.
Yeah. So can you tell me what all values you require to calculate probable error? What is the requirement to calculate probable error for correlation coefficient?
Sir, correlation or number of items.
Observations. Exactly.
Observ-
So we require only two things. One is R. R stands for correlation coefficient. So we'll be calculating correlation coefficient and we'll get the value of R. And another thing we require is N. N stands for number of pairs of observation. We will put both these two values into it and we'll get a value for probable error. Now, there are certain interpretation points. And now what are those? Let me tell you. If the value of R is less than probable error, then there is no correlation. Or you can say, instead of writing no correlation, we'll say then correlation is not significant. If the value of R is less than probable error, then we can say the value of R is not at all significant. Correlation is not significant. Right? If the value of R is greater than 6 times of probable error, means you just take the value of probable error from the formula and multiply it by 6. Let me put it into the inverted commas. Yeah. 6 into PE, then just a second, coefficient of correlation is practically certain that is, it is significant. The value of R is significant. Are these 2 points clear with everyone? And why we are studying these 2 points? Is there any problem? Yes? Plus, anyone can please respond?
तो वो 6P आपने क्या बताया?
The point is that first of all, let me repeat. First of all, we will be calculating the value of probable error by using the formula, this one, right? And then after getting the value of probable error, we will be comparing the comparing the significance of the correlation coefficient through these 2 points. One is, if the value of correlation coefficient is less than PE, then there is no question. We'll rightly say that the value of correlation coefficient is not significant. There might be some error in the data or that is a separate issue. But whatever data you have given to me, I have calculated the value of correlation coefficient and I have calculated the probable error, based on which I am interpreting that the value of correlation coefficient is not significant because it is less than probable error. Then if it is not less than probable error, we will move on to the second point, that is, I will multiply the probable error value with 6. Suppose probable error is coming out to be 0.02. So I'll multiply it by 6. What I'll get?
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, one of my friend they are not able to hear you, sir. Tania.
Tanya is not able to hear me. Okay. So
No,
is there
sir.
anyone else
She
also who is not
messaged me.
able to hear?
Yes, sir, I can answer me also.
You are also not able to hear me. I mean, here everything is perfect. Okay, is there anyone who is getting my voice loud and clear?
Yes, sir, I am.
Abhishek
Yes,
is
sir.
getting it.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek is getting it. Divya is getting it. Aman is getting it. What about you, Rhythm? My voice is coming clearly.
Yes, sir.
Ratrika, then there is a problem with Tanya's connection, and Nibonita, you can also do one thing. You can log out and log in again. that might solve the purpose. Ratrika, are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Sir, I convey to Tanya.
Okay. Just convey her that you can, maybe restart or re-log in. But because if the problem is
Okay,
at
sir.
my end, it would be same with everyone. No one would be getting my voice. But if there
Okay,
are
sir.
four,
Okay,
five
sir.
students who are getting my voice, that means there is no problem at my end, right? Okay, so that's good. You have told me no issues. Yeah. So what we were discussing, yeah. Second point, Rhythm has asked what is the meaning of second point. Second point is that we'll multiply probable error with 6. So suppose the probable error is 0.02, and if I multiply it by 6, what will I get? 0.02 multiplied by 6. What will I get? Come on, guys. Anyone can, answer it instantly. Do you require to calculate, by using calculator?
Sir, 0.02.
0.02 multiplied by 6.
0.12.
Exactly, 0.12. So I'll be getting this 0.12. Now I will compare the value of r with 0.12, and if the value of r is greater than 0.6 PE, I will say the value of correlation coefficient is certain, practically certain, and it is significant. This is what the meaning of second point, Rhythm. Am I clear? Yes, class. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and apart from this 6 PE, there are, in certain books, there are certain other interpretations also. They will multiply it by 3 PE also, and then they will give a kind of an, a middle kind of an interpretation also, but you can stick to these two only. That if the value of R is less than PE, you will say the value of correlation coefficient is not significant at all. But if the value of R is greater than 6 times of PE, you will say that the value of correlation coefficient is significant. Can we move further? Is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, what does that mean? What is the use of this probable error apart from
Sir,
yes?
Sir, right now, Aditya son
Amina, तानिया वो आवाज सुनते वैसे मैं लॉगिन करो लॉग आउट करना
Tanya is still not getting my voice.
Yes, sir. She again texted that I logged in and logged out. I can't hear.
Actually, once she logged out, she has not joined back till now. She is not there. Is she there in the class? Let me check. No, she is not there. So just ask her to, recheck the connection. She is using a mobile phone or laptop, I think.
Sir, mobile phone.
So there might be she just ask her to reset the network or something, put it on a flight mode and then get back. Might reset the network,
Okay, sir.
right? Okay. So yeah, now we have used probable error, but is it the only use that we'll be calculating probable error just for the interpretation? No. Probable error has its own identity. Its own identity means the meaning of probable error, the definition of probable error. Because whatever we have discussed right now, this highlighted things, this is the use of probable error. We can say that what is the use of probable error? Sir, probable error can be used to interpret the correlation coefficient, the value of correlation coefficient, which is R. But if someone asks that what is the meaning of probable error, then we should have a different answer. One more answer or different answer, whatever you say. So the answer is that probable error, just a second.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
Yes.
सर वो सिग्निफिकेंस में जो पहला वाला पॉइंट था उसमें आपने कहा कि आर अगर लेस देन हुआ पीई से तो कोरिलेशन सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है। तो सर जब पहले हम पीई निकालेंगे फिर उसे आर के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे तो छोटा हुआ तो सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है, लेकिन सर दूसरे पॉइंट में फिर हम उसी पीई को 6 से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं, फिर चेक कर रहे हैं आर से बड़ा है या नहीं है।
No, 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 no. If you are getting answer from the first point only, there is no point of multiplying it with 6. Now you tell me one thing. Your question is valid. Sir, let's suppose R is less than PE. Okay. You tell me one thing. Is it possible that both of these points are true at the same time?
No sir.
You just read it, right? Is it possible that both of these points are true at one time, at the same time? No, it is not possible.
No sir.
So the point you are saying, you are asking me, let me give an example. First point is saying that x is less than y. And second point is saying that x is greater than 6y. Now you tell me, is there any situation in this entire universe who will say that both the things are true?
No sir.
So I think I have answered your question.
Yes sir.
Yeah. Why we are doing it? Your question is right, but it was somehow misdirected. You can redirect your question in a way. Let me give you a question and I'll give you the answer also. The question could be, sir, I have compared R with PE. Listen carefully. Neelam has quoted a very good point, but just it was misdirected. But the point is quite right. That, sir, I have compared R with PE, and R is greater than PE. I have compared R with PE, and R is greater than PE. So which point is invalid right now out of these two? If R is greater than PE, which point is invalid now? First or second? First one. So first one has gone. So you have compared R with PE and R is greater than PE. That means first point is gone. Now it depends on second point. So now I will multiply this PE with 6 and now I'll check whether still R is greater than 6 PE, and if still R is greater than 6 PE, I'll say the value of R is significant. Now the question is, sir, what if the R, if the situation is like this? Sir, what is the situation if R is greater than PE but less than 6 PE? Are you getting my point, Neelam? This is the situation which may arise. That, sir, first point is invalid by this because R is greater than PE. So first point is invalidated. But it is not actually approving by the second point, because second point is saying it should be greater than 6p, but R is in between these 2 points. First point is finished, but second point is still not agreeing with the fact. So such situations are there where I told you that you can multiply it by 3, right? I'll give you that point. It is not there in this book, but there are certain books which will say that you can, if such situations are there, you can multiply PE by 3 instead of 6, multiplied by 3 PE and compare R with 3 PE. And in 95% of cases, R will be greater than 3 PE. So there is another situation which will say that R, just a second, R is greater than 3 PE but less than 6 PE. So there is a small interpretation for this also. Now I am leaving this as an assignment for you, that search in the book, search on the net, that what should be the interpretation in such cases. That 3 PR is greater than 3 PE but less than 6 PE. The general interpretation in such thing is that correlation exists but it cannot be called significant. Correlation exists but it cannot be called significant. Are you getting my point, all of you? Although the question was asked by Neelam, but it's a valid question. All of you should, focus upon this. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I was, can we move further, or is there any other doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
Yeah, so we can move
So you
further.
can proceed.
Okay. So now what I was asking, I was telling that what is the meaning of probable error? This is the use of probable error, but probable error actually helps you to find out the correlation of the entire population. Now you will ask me, sir, what do you mean by these populations and all? See what happens. Just a second. Okay, are you all able to see this? This oval, this circle?
So,
So this is your entire area. You are doing a survey, and the survey result will be generalized to the entire area. So suppose I have given you a particular task that you have to study this throughout Jaipur. You have to survey this to this throughout city, which is Jaipur. So surveying each and every person, surveying each and every house, or the person living in Jaipur, don't you think it's a time consuming process, and it might not be possible for me to do it? That you will be meeting with each and everyone living in Jaipur and you are doing the survey for a particular study? Yes or no? If I ask you that you need to do a survey of entire Jaipur city, you have to go door to door and you have to ask certain questions to the people related to your research. Don't you think it is a time consuming process?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
It
Yes,
is.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir,
sir.
definitely.
So how I will be able to cover the entire this entire population of Jaipur? I'll be doing the sampling. Sampling is what? It is nothing but it is this. I have created 4 small samples out of this population, and I'll be doing the survey of all these 4 populations. Sorry, 4 samples. And based on the results of these 4 samples, I will be giving the result for entire Jaipur. Are you understanding this?
So can you repeat again the last one?
Again, I'm saying it is not possible for me to cover the entire Jaipur's population. So what I have done the grouping, I have done some segregation. maybe on the basis of urban Jaipur, rural Jaipur, or maybe on the basis of certain colonies or areas, some blocks or something. I have made small 4 samples, 4 different small samples, and I'll be doing the survey in these particular sampled areas. And based on the results of these samples, I will be generalizing, I will be giving the generalized results for the entire Jaipur. This is what I am trying to explain. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what happens, why I am discussing this
Yes.
thing with you, that based on the I have calculated the correlation. Let's suppose I have not chosen these 4 samples, I have taken this one sample. So I have calculated the correlation for this sample only, this small portion of the population. Now I want the particular range of the correlation coefficient with the help of this particular sample correlation. I have calculated the correlation for the sample, and let us suppose it is coming out to be R is equal to R is equal to 0.89. This is what the correlation of that sample which I have selected out of the entire population. So this probable error will give me a particular range within which the correlation of all the samples taken from the same population will lie. Means, suppose if R is this, and let's suppose probable error, just a second, is equal to let's suppose 0.045. Okay. 0.002, let's suppose. So this particular value, probable error, will give me 2 different values which will decide the correlation for the entire population, or which will give me a range that if I take another sample from the same population, the correlation of that sample will lie within these limits. Now how to find those limits? One limit will be R plus probable error, and second one will be R minus probable error. Means if I apply this on this example, it will be 0.89 plus 0.002, or it will be 0.89 minus 0.002. What will be the value of this 0.89 plus 0.002? It will be 0.892.
0.892. Yes, sir.
And the second one will be 0.878.
So 0.888. 888. 888.
0.888.
So these 2 values are giving me kind of a range, that 0.888 to 0.892. If you take the sample out of this entire population, if you take the another sample in this entire population and you calculate the correlation coefficient of that sample will lie within this particular range. This is what from this we can get a kind of an informal definition of probable error, that probable error is that value or variate which gives us the 2 extreme values within which the correlation coefficient of entire population will lie. Again I am saying, probable error is that particular variate or value by adding to which or by subtracting from correlation coefficient, we will get 2 values within which the correlation coefficient of entire population will lie?
सर 0.888 अप टू 0.892 होगा ना?
Yes. 0.
सर आपने
sorry,
0.89
0.89. Yeah, 0.89. Sorry, typing error. Yes. 0.888 to 0.89. So probable error is clear with everyone. What is probable error? How to calculate it?
Yes, sir.
And what is the use of probable error? The simple thing is that, sir, probable error is that value which gives us the two extreme values, values within which the correlation coefficient of entire population will lie. First thing, and with the help of correlation, with the help of probable error, we can actually interpret the correlation coefficient, that whether it is significant or not. These are the two things which we need to understand. Right, now why we are studying it? For the examination purpose or something. The thing is, whenever it is being asked you that please calculate the correlation coefficient, don't leave it only up to the value of r. Always calculate probable error and give the interpretation. Always calculate probable error and give the interpretation. Never leave it like r is equal to 0.89 and that's all. I'll get the full marks. No. Whether it is irrespective of the fact it is asked or not, you have to give the interpretation. Again, I am repeating. Whether it is mentioned in the question that you have to calculate probable error or you have to interpret the correlation coefficient, still you will have to calculate probable error and try to give the interpretation. Is it clear with everyone? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes? So this is all we want to discuss, and this is actually the last class for correlation coefficient. Now the task for all of you, whatever number of questions we have done for correlation, you calculate probable error for all those. And how to calculate it? It is there on your screen. You can take the screenshot or you can put it in your copies, notebooks and all. That probable error of correlation coefficient is equal to 0.6745 multiplied by 1 minus r square divided by root n. Right? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. There is an extra learning you can take from this. If you remove this 0.6745 from this formula, it will become the formula for standard error of correlation coefficient. It is not there in our agenda of study, so we are not studying it. But just for a kind of a learning purpose, if you remove this 0.6745 from this formula, it will become the standard error, SE, standard error of correlation coefficient. That is 1 minus r square divided by root n. That's an additional value-added services I have given to you. Right. So thank you all. The task which I have given you, I am again repeating it. That is, you have to calculate probable error for all the questions we have done till now. I think we have done more than 4 or 5 questions we have done in correlation in total. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you should calculate probable error for all those and try to interpret it and check whether it is being validated by these 2 points or not. And if not, then we'll discuss it. Right? Otherwise, we'll be meeting again in the next class with a new fresh topic. Let's see. Right? So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.